Let's turn to the president's foreign policy. In his speech this week at West Point, Mr. Obama set new limits on the use of U.S. force in the world. This in the same week that he announced that he's going to pull all U.S. troops out of Afghanistan by the end of 2016, when he will have left office. Here is the president at West Point.
U.S. military action cannot be the only or even primary component of our leadership in every instance. Just because we have the best hammer does not mean that every problem is a nail.
Laura, is there something there that you can glean from the speech that you can call the Obama doctrine?
I've been searching. I think the response from the cadets, the graduating class of West Point, was very telling. I did listen to the entire speech, and very little in the way of response, and it's just very uncomfortable. And look, I think he is reflecting to this extent the viewpoint of many in the American public who are weary of all these military engagements, and I think more resisting to military engagements 6 years in, seeing the world as chaotic as it is now, Africa, Middle East, and beyond. So it's true, I don't think people are clamoring to go to war. However, the idea that the president goes to West Point and says, look, we've never been stronger relative to the rest of the world, I'm sorry, but that doesn't even pass the straight face test. Just on an economic front, forget on our declining influence around the globe. So I thought it was a very odd speech, and it was not well received, and that didn't surprise me at all, given its tenor and its tone.
Bob, what did you think of the speech? And when you look at our intervention in Syria, our lack of intervention and role, or rather our intervention in Libya, our lack of intervention in Syria, and how we played Ukraine, is there a coherent, a cogent Obama foreign policy?
Well, there's so much talk, and I don't think talk solves lots of these problems. In foreign policy, you're trying to do two things: comfort your friends and scare the hell out of your enemies or your potential enemies. A speech like this does not have that effect, because he said we're in effect lowering the threshold to use the military. Sometimes it is best to just be quiet and not try to theorize and not try to explain here. And I think this is, the explaining is just not working. At the same time, there are two jobs a president has, and that is to protect the country and avoid unnecessary wars. And if you look at the record, you have to give Obama some credit. He has protected the country, and we have not had another war or unnecessary war.
We didn't protect the Benghazi diplomatic mission on 9/11/12. I mean, we kind of failed in that regard, don't you think, Bob?
Well, you're underscoring my point that this will never go away,
right,
at least with you.
Well, no, no. I actually don't think it's funny when an ambassador is murdered.
On that somewhat cheap shot, we're going to have to leave.
Yeah.
Thank you, panel. See you next week. Up next.